Ghostly tales, yet mirrors of human life. Hey everyone! Welcome to Encountering Chinese, Ghostly Tales from Zhai. Today, I'm going to tell you 3 short stories. The first story is titled, Foxes in the Government Office of Zunhua. Mr. Qiu from Zhucheng once served as a provincial magistrate in Zunhua. The government office where he worked had long been infested with foxes, most of which lived in a small building at the back of the office. These foxes resided there in large numbers, treating it as their home. From time to time, they would come out and cause trouble for the people. The more the officers tried to drive them away, the more the foxes retaliated. The officials at that time had no choice but to offer daily sacrifices and prayers, not daring to offend the foxes. When Mr. Qiu took office and heard of this situation, he became furious. The foxes, fearing his stern nature, sent one of their elders, transformed into an old woman, to speak to Qiu's family. The old woman said, "Please tell Mr. Qiu not to treat us foxes as enemies. Give us 3 days, and I will take my family and leave this place." Upon hearing this, Mr. Qiu remained silent, and no one knew how he would handle the matter. The next morning, after inspecting the troops, Mr. Qiu ordered the soldiers to bring all the cannons from the barracks into the government office. Within moments, over 1,000 cannons were arranged around the small building. At Qiu's command, the cannons fired simultaneously, and the several-story-high building was instantly reduced to rubble, with fur, blood, and flesh raining down from the sky. Amid the thick dust and poisonous fumes, a wisp of white smoke was seen rising into the sky. Everyone looked up and remarked, "A fox managed to escape." From that day on, the government office remained peaceful. 2 years later, Mr. Qiu sent a capable servant to the capital with silver to bribe influential officials in hopes of securing a promotion. Before the arrangements could be made, the silver was temporarily hidden in the home of one of the government officers. Suddenly, an old man appeared at the gates of the imperial palace, crying for justice. He claimed that his wife and child had been unjustly murdered, and he accused Mr. Qiu of embezzling military funds and bribing high-ranking officials. The old man revealed that the silver was hidden in the home of an officer, and could be verified immediately. The emperor ordered the relevant officials to escort the old man to verify the claim. They searched the officer's house thoroughly but found no trace of the illicit silver. The old man remained silent, merely tapping the ground with his foot. The investigators understood his intent, and upon digging where he indicated, they indeed uncovered the silver, which was inscribed with the words, "Made in somewhere." Moments later, when they turned to question the old man again, they found he had vanished. The officials tried to locate him by searching the address and name he had provided, but he was nowhere to be found. Ultimately, Mr. Qiu was sentenced to death for the bribery scandal, and only then did everyone realize that the old man must have been the fox who had escaped 2 years earlier. In the final commentary, the author reflects, "It is not unjust to kill foxes when they harm humans. However, since the foxes had admitted their guilt and asked for mercy, it would have been proper to show clemency, which would have demonstrated the compassion of humanity. It is evident that Mr. Chiu, due to his excessive hatred of the foxes, had lost his sense of compassion. However, if this task of executing the foxes had been entrusted to the upright and incorruptible minister Yang Zhen of the Eastern Han dynasty, no matter how many foxes there were, they would not have found any way to seek revenge. The second story is titled General She. Zhai, whose courtesy name was Junshi, was a native of Yang County in Hanzhong. He once served as a military officer under the rebel general Zhu Shushun, having been selected for his martial prowess. Zhu Shushun valued him greatly, promoting him several times until Zhai was eventually promoted to the position of general-in-chief in the Pseudo-Zhou regime. However, during a chaotic battle, Zhai realized that the Pseudo-Zhou could no longer be defended. He secretly conspired with his trusted soldiers to ambush Zhu Shushun. In the struggle, Zhu Shushun was injured, and Zhai captured and bound him, then defected to Cai Yurong, the governor who was Zhu Shushun's adversary. As a result, Zhai was promoted and assigned to a position in the capital. Soon after arriving in the capital, Zhai dreamed that he was in the underworld, where the king of hell was furious with him for betraying his master for personal gain. The king ordered the demons to pour boiling oil over Zhai's feet. When Zhai awoke, he felt intense pain in his feet. Later, his feet became swollen with pus and ulcers, eventually causing his toes to rot away. He then contracted malaria. In his agony, he repeatedly cried out, "I am truly ungrateful." Not long after, he died from his suffering. At the end of the story, the author offers this reflection. Serving a rebel is not something that can be deemed loyal, yet whether one is a distinguished warrior of the nation or just an ordinary citizen, one should repay those who have shown them favor. This is a principle that heroes and gallant men should uphold. And this story indeed serves as a warning to those who, despite being in positions of servitude, harbor ulterior motives. The third story is titled A Gentleman. There was a gentleman from Shaanxi province who passed the imperial examination in the 18th year of the Xuanji reign. He often told others that he could recall memories from his previous life. He once said that in his past life, he was also a scholar who died in middle age due to illness. After his death, he witnessed the scene of King Yama presiding over judgments in the underworld. The hall of Yama was filled with cauldrons of various sizes, just as it was described in the human world. In the eastern corner of the hall, there were several racks on which hung the skins of animals like pigs, sheep, dogs, and horses. The officials in charge of the registers would call out the names of those summoned for judgment. Some were punished by being reincarnated as horses, while others were sentenced to be reborn as pigs. Each person sentenced to punishment was stripped naked, and the demon attendants would take the corresponding animal skins from the racks and force them onto the person's body. After a while, his name was called. King Yama said, "This person should be reborn as a sheep in the next life." With that, a demon attendant took down a white sheep's skin and began to force it onto him. At that moment, the demon in charge of the registers said to King Yama, "This person once saved someone's life." King Yama checked the records again, and after reviewing them, he instructed, "In that case, spare him from this punishment. Though he committed many wrongs, this one good deed can barely redeem him." So, the demons began to peel the sheep's skin off his body. However, the skin had already adhered to him, and no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't remove it completely. In the end, two demons grabbed his arms, pinned him down, and used all their strength to continue peeling the skin off. He described the pain as beyond words. Eventually, the sheep's skin was torn off in pieces, but it still couldn't be entirely removed from his body. A palm-sized patch of sheep's skin remained stuck near his shoulder. When he was reborn as a human, that same area on his shoulder had hair resembling sheep's wool. Even when he trimmed it with scissors, it would grow back after a short time. Alright. That's all for today's ghostly tales, foxes in the government office of Zunhua, General She, and a gentleman. If you enjoyed them, please give a like and subscribe. Please also encourage everyone to comment and share more. We'll see you in the next episode.